This is the one with penguins.
And Earth's twin planet.
And an irresponsibly located army base.
And Cybermen in coats.
It's called the 10th Planet.
Here we go!
We're embarking on a voyage all through time and all through space.
Countering Daleks, Dalenhood, and the Cybertronic race.
Santarans look like taters, and Silurians all have wonky scales.
And the Doctor has a TARDIS, we're reviewing all his tales. Who back when? Reviewing all of who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Episode by episode, we're trudging down this temporal road. Come join us on this odyssey. What other choice could there be than Who back when?
Who back when?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 29, or classic episode 29.
C029.
Yeah, of Who Back When.
A Doctor Who podcast.
As you can hear, the asides are ably added by Ponkin.
That's me.
And I'll be your co-host today, Nicol Laley.
When did you get here?
I've been here for a few seasons. You might want to check me out.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, pretty well. I'm very excited for the 10th Planet. This is the demise of Hartnell.
Yeah.
Which
my
comes
God.
with a lot of weight.
I'm truly emotional just thinking about it.
It was quite a thing. I sort of joined the Who Back When hosting party quite late, but been listening along. And yeah, actually, you listen to someone's body of work, essentially, and come to an end. And it's a freaky sort of thing to experience.
I agree. And I would also like to take this opportunity to apologise to the estate of William Hartnell for taking almost 2 years to finish his run as the Doctor.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Just in case you've been waiting to see how it ends, maybe you already know.
I'm super psyched about Troughton, though. I just want to say that.
Yeah?
I mean, we're not going to really hit Troughton now, but oh my God, I'm super psyched.
I'm vaguely ambivalent. I'm still getting over the Hartnell.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So with that in mind, this is the 10th Planet.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The original, the very, very first appearance of, spoiler alert, guys, the Cybermen.
Bum, bum, bum.
And it's, I think... Okay, so here's a little weird thing. We recorded our reviews of the reboot of Cybermen in New Who.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Before, in fact, immediately before hitting this episode.
Yeah, so we've had this sort of pre-hoc, how do we do it? What's the word for that? In which we've looked very closely at the most recent incarnation, or the reboot, and now looking at the origin story.
Yeah. I guess the conversation that we otherwise, if we had watched these chronologically, that we otherwise would have had when reviewing The Age of Steel or whatever that other one was, Rise of the Cybermen, then I guess we're going to have that conversation this time.
Yeah, but I think in a more interesting way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kit Pedler's greatest sort of like his opus to the world.
Yeah, he's the Terry Nation of Cybermen.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that as, the idea that the Cybermen are the secondary antagonists, that there's some, I think there's an argument to be had in the 10th Planet that they're equally terrifying, if not more so.
Sure. The spoiler alert, the next episode or the next serial is a Dalek one.
Oh.
Power of the Daleks.
We're going to have a direct comparison.
Yeah.
Well, I think with that in mind then, with the gravitas of the 10th Planet, the introduction to Cybermen and the outgoing Hartnell, we should jump into a bite-sized chunk of Who.
Oh my God, that is the best suggestion I've heard all day.
I'm getting better at these links, aren't I?
Okay, B-Scout time. Bite-sized chunk of Who. Doc, Benny and Duchess materialize in Antarctica, coincidentally on top of a possibly UN-regulated army/space base.
I don't know why, but I find army/space base very funny. They're taken prisoner, then turned into consultants, and then the Cybermen appear, at which point they're imprisoned again.
Transpires Earth's twin planet Mondas has inexplicably appeared to steal all of Earth's energy.
And their inhabitants, the Cybermen, may or may not want to cyber everyone. We're not sure. It's unclear.
It is unclear. Yeah. Anyway, Biscow over, you are welcome.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so should we start at the beginning, which is always a good place to start?
I think so.
So we're treated to a bit of a tableau of a rocket launch with the two pilots. What are they? There's two people. Why is there only two people flying? Anyway.
No, there are two astronauts on board.
Two astronauts, whatever.
One looks like whom, and the other looks like whom?
Okay, so one looks like the love child of Sting and Phil Collins. Collins.
Phil Collins' dad, I think we agreed.
Phil Collins' dad, yeah, one of the two. I look at him really closely, and if you start singing, you can't hurry love in your head, then it's a weird one.
Or anything by Sting.
And then the second one was
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier is where we kind of came to it, but there's more. He actually doesn't even really look like Sidney Poitier looking about.
No, he looks no. He looks a lot like Sidney Poitier.
He does not look like Sidney Poitier.
Older Sidney Poitier, not younger Sidney Poitier.
I don't think he looks like either.
Oh, dude, they've totally got the same chin.
No.
Oh, whatever. No. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're live Googling this. Anyway, so yeah, they are astronauts aboard the Zeus 4 rocket.
Ba-ba-bum.
Which is up there to do what?
Better than the first 3 Zeuses.
Very good point. Also, I don't think we find out.
Actually, no. In no way do we find out. We know that they're sent.
They're on their way somewhere.
I mean,
is it Mars?
This is set in December 86.
Yeah,
but written in the 60s.
Yeah.
So I think we're supposed to, in some way, suspend that disbelief that there's a specific mission, but it's just exploratory.
I think they're heading to a specific planet, but I cannot remember. Yeah, but I don't think. Okay, regardless, I don't think we get to know what they're doing.
I think the general idea is, though, they were like, astronauts exploring. No one questioned it too hard.
Yeah. And they're being sent off from this. I guess we don't really find this out at this point. It doesn't really matter. They're dispatched from this weird military space base in the Antarctic for no reason whatsoever. Because apparently that's where space exploration sort of hails from at this point.
Absolutely no reason. I mean, from what I can understand is they're communicating with this rocket. Why that has to be I guess it's probably just the 60s. They don't realise that none of this shit is geographically, important.
I suppose.
I mean, Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, no, true. In fact, it's an international crew. I mean, on the space base and on the rocket as well. Actually, hang on. Here's something we didn't mention. One of the Sidney Poitier,
the non-Sidney Poitier,
the guy who has the same chin and I feel cheekbones as Sidney Poitier. That guy, this is the first time that we have an African-American, or at the very least, a black actor.
Yeah, I imagine.
Of some authority.
I imagine being a BBC thing, he was probably Afro-Caribbean, British,
Okay, yeah, that's very possible.
So, the point being that and I think he might have been the captain of the vessel, I think
that's possible. Yeah. Either way, I mean, he's depicted as a competent, authoritative character, as opposed to up until this point. In fact, as recently as in The Smugglers, we had, here we go, let's put a black actor in the episode, he's going to play the buffoon. Up until this point, we haven't had anyone with any kind of agency.
Yeah. Well,
nice one. Stuff is happening, man.
Stuff is happening. It's one of those things, I guess it's kind of like rewarding your kid for not shitting on the carpet. Viewed within the context, the historical context, it's a tiny little step, but I think it's nice to see that it is still progressing somewhere. Cool. What's relatively interesting is that as we're, sort of logging and reviewing all the way back through Who, we're also seeing it's almost social commentary on the way Britain works.
I guess so, yeah.
And the way it all works, or in many ways didn't work.
Yeah.
From the so yeah. Okay. I will concede the point that it's better than it was.
Sure.
I'm still not happy about it.
I'm still. So next up, someone materializes.
The Doctor.
Yes.
And the Duchess and Ben.
Yeah. Benny. Okay, we had this chat. We rewatched this episode just the other day, ladies and gentlemen, and we had this chat just before pressing record as well. The Doctor at the end of, is it The Smugglers? Yeah, the last episode, the latest episode. They materialize somewhere. We don't find out yet. He looks at the scanner and his immediate reaction is, we have materialized, or we have arrived in the coldest place in the world. And you and I disagree on this point, Nick.
Oh, I think it's a fairly open and shut case in which if the world means Earth.
Yeah, but why would the world mean Earth to an alien?
Where would they just come from the smugglers?
Okay, Earth, fine, Cornwall.
Right. So if let's say they were and also talking to terrestrial humans.
Okay, yeah, predominantly Earthlings watch this show.
Right. Is that when you say the world, I think that's fine. There's this, to make that semantic leap to it being Earth. Now, and also Antarctica is the coldest place in the world.
Do you mean on Earth? Yeah,
yes,
okay, so
absolutely.
this is where we disagree. So at the end of The Smugglers, my assumption was, okay, they've landed on Hoth. Like, it's a different planet, mega cold, but in fact, we're gonna see people, like regular humans, walk around without gloves and everything is fine.
I don't know where you get this leap. This is very much a you thing. I think that everyone else listening to us in podcast land will be like, yeah, it's Antarctica, which is very much like Hoth.
Okay, fine.
And actually, there's several Hoth-like tropes within, or is it?
There is some. Or
is it actually more that Hoth is more like an Antarctic-like trope?
Or
that's 77, isn't it? When that came out? Oh no, that's 82.
Yeah,
it's 82 or something.
Empire.
Like that. Yeah. Actually, looking back on the Doctor, possibly as inspiration.
Okay, yeah, fine, possibly, right. Whatever. I'm looking at my notes here, and my next bullet point is something that feels like more of a me thing.
Right.
We get to see the inside of this army space base.
Of the barracks portion.
Yes, exactly. And what do we get to see? We get to see the stereotypical Italian gentleman with a bunch of pin-up posters in his bunk.
We get to see boobs, ladies and gentlemen, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, on this kids show, there are like, honest to God, straight up boobies.
The weird thing is like it's the 60s and stuff, which obviously, free love and all that sort of stuff, but it's still a very conservative British broadcasting corporation.
Yeah, which is why they assigned that bunk to the Italian chap.
I guess so, yeah. It's but then the other thing is that I would say that he's not that stereotypically Italian because, he can't affect an Italian accent. Which all the Italians
he's actually English.
All those Italians I've ever met are pretty good at it. They've got the accent down.
Yeah. Sure.
But yes, yeah. We get a close up, a lot of pin-ups, a lot of boobies, and then I think there's supposed to have been like a buffoon-like Italian.
I guess so.
But
yeah,
it doesn't really work. He doesn't really get any.
He also only appears for like half an episode.
Yeah. And what's funnier to me is the American of many states.
Yeah. Yes.
He's the American that starts off as Lee Marvin and John Wayne, and then sort of morphs into like a New Jersey style baseball player or something.
Yeah, sure. Ends up as Tony Soprano.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely. No, he kind of ends up as Columbo. Like,
oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
Just one more thing.
Another thing.
There are Cybermen outside.
What can you see in your periscope? There's been a murder.
You said periscope. There's a periscope. So this is a subterranean base. One of the Italian chap's colleagues, who is, I think, an American, is peeking out the periscope, spots the TARDIS and Duchess, Polly. And immediately upon saying, like, oh, there's a woman out there, the Italian guy just gets a raging hard-on, jumps off, and has a peek up a skirt.
Yeah, and, let's make that part of the whole, like, mermaid style. He's been at sea too long, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Everyone's actually a complete gentleman.
Yeah,
however.
Actually. Yeah. But anyway, so they go and apprehend, right? Is that the next thing?
Yeah, pretty much. They pop upstairs, arrest them, bringing them back downstairs, and that's pretty much it. I don't know if it's now or if it's later on, but we get a glimpse of the astronauts.
Before we do that, I just want to give a little nod to the set design.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Because it's mostly polystyrene. It's mostly it's like they've gone out and bought like 50 to 60 printers, like laserjet printers or whatever, and then just threw them away, and just used the packaging to create what they thought Antarctica looked like. Also some stock footage from quite clearly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
National Geographic. But fun. But good. I mean, obviously.
I like it.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of polystyrene.
Yeah.
The Space Army Cadet, what the fuck are they? What are we calling them? Why
they
are
the, hang on, we made a note of this. They are the International something?
Committee for Space.
Space Command, International Space Command.
Headed up by their Space Commander, Buzz Lightyear.
Well, we'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah. So, they've gone and apprehended the Doctor and Polly and Ben. They don't ask an awful lot of questions of how the fuck did you get here? This is like, it's minus 86 degrees.
Yeah, you appeared in some sort of weird blue shed and...
No more questions.
No more questions. We're done. I think the reason they're not asking any questions is because at this point there's already been some technical trouble on Zeus 4. So they're sort of distracted. They're like, holy fuck, guys, we sent these two dudes. One of them is Sidney Poitier. He won an Oscar. So, like, we're going to have some trouble.
Also, Buster is up there. If you guys don't know, you're Phil Collins. I know that was Bob Hoskins, wasn't it? I don't know.
I don't remember that at all. That rings 0 bells.
It's fine. I guess I think that you've kind of got to question, and that happens a lot throughout.
Yeah.
In which no one really gives a fuck where he turns up. It's like, oh yeah, we're the only people on this, like, rock of lava floating through space.
Very true.
Plus you guys.
Very true. I think something that equally recurring is we're now, you are clearly here where you should not be. Very often it is, in fact, a military base. We're now taking you prisoner, and then cut to, no transition, cut to, oh, you're now one of us.
Yeah,
which is exactly what happens. Yeah.
So we're treated to the idea that Zeus 4 is not doing well.
Yeah.
Something about gravitational pull towards the planet. Blah blah blah. Something.
Exactly.
Something's going.
Something.
Oh, so where are we at this point? So I think the doctor intervene.
Sort of. Like he tries to. The doctor clearly knows what's happening, even though, like, why would he?
Oh no, he does a thing. He does this stupid bullshit. So annoying. I would have shot him in his face if he'd have done this to me.
I'm going to write this on a note.
I'm going to write this down. It's going to happen, and then I'm going to be like, haha, motherfuckers.
Told you so.
Yeah. It's like, if he was very, very invested in them knowing...
He could just scream.
Just shout it.
Twin planet approaching.
Yeah. It's Earth, but upside down, motherfucker. It's upside down Earth.
It's upside down Earth. Upside down Earth is arriving.
They call it Mondas, but let's just use the moniker upside down Earth from now on. Just in case someone wants to make a podcast about this later.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just like, I'm going to write it down, and then tell me if this is your card. Fuck you. Anyway, he does that. He writes it down and gives it to some lackey.
Yeah, whomever.
I think
it's Barclay.
Yeah, they get sort of shuffled off. No, it's not Barclay. I don't think it's one of the.
Well, regardless, he gives the note to someone, and then I think
they get shuffled off.
Yeah,
and then
bada bing, something appears.
Mondas
appears.
So we're not known. It's Mondas. A planet appears on the visual.
I guess their version of the scanner.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we even get to see it.
Yeah, and we get to see it spinning. We get to see land masses, and people looking at it. It's like, what is that? And it's like, as soon as you see it, it's like, that's upside down South America.
Yeah. Is it also? Yeah. Oh no, it's pretty obvious from the get go. Polly keeps going on about, like, oh, that's Micronesia or something.
Oh yeah, no, it's not Micronesia. To be fair, it is Indonesia. Or was it Malaysia? One of the two. One really big
Malaysia?
country. It's a big country.
I feel like it was an M country.
It's a big country, but still, like, of all the land masses.
Yeah.
Thing about Indonesia and Malaysia is they're like archipelagos. They're like fucking thousands of tiny little islands and bigger islands or whatever. Why not just go, oh, Australia?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking massive. Oh, there's Africa. Yeah. Or just point out the continents, motherfucker. Yeah. We don't really need to know the city-states, and they're like, oh yeah, that looks like Brunei to me. I can't be sure.
Isn't that upside-down Basingstoke? I'm pretty sure that's upside-down Basingstoke.
You can tell.
That's true. Sorry, any potential listeners in Basingstoke.
Not at all. Fuck you. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. I mean,
well, okay. I've got another question for you. So, why has this planet all of a sudden appeared? How did it get there? It's a planet. Pretty sure it's a planet, right?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, it's a planet.
Actually, do you know what? That never gets explained, does it?
No, it absolutely does not.
See, so in my... Well, do you know what? Maybe this is a glorious amount of subtle subtext. In which, not subtle, but quite heavy-handed subtext. Okay. In which it's actually a bricolage moment in which we're never supposed to know. We're supposed to pick it out for ourselves. So in my brain, when I watched it through, I was like, oh, the Cybermen must have done something to make the planet appear in this...
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, in fact, it would be another reference to the Daleks. In the Daleks' master plan, the Daleks' master plan was to hollow out the Earth, basically, and replace the Earth's core with some sort of motor so that they could drive it around like a fucking huge galactic Winnebago.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe the Cybermen have done that to Mondas instead. Hello, Future Ponkin here. Just felt that I needed to add a little correction to the timeline. Apologies. That's not the Daleks' master plan I'm talking about. What I meant to say was the Dalek invasion of Earth. Or Daleks invasion Earth 2150 AD. Yeah, suck on them apples. Okay, back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a map of the solar system.
We do, because I just needed to check so I wasn't a complete fucking idiot about this. But I'm pretty sure at some point they say, well, there's a planet here, between Venus and Jupiter. It's like, where between
wait, no. Let's double check this. I don't think it was Jupiter. I think it's...
Oh wait, lies between Mars and Venus. Still fucking stupid. Because where between Mars and Venus, for a start?
Mars, Venus. Yeah, that's us. That's us. Between Mars and Venus is the Earth. God damn it!
I knew it sounded stupid.
This makes no sense.
Yeah.
So the only explanation would be Fuck it, no, there is no explanation. They would be basically on the same... Oh, you know what it is?
It's another planet. It's the twinless.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side of the sun, basically.
Right.
And it's, I guess, slowly but
okay, I'll take that.
And then all of a sudden it's done a semicircle really speedily.
I'll take it.
And arrived. Still doesn't really make sense.
I'll take it.
What doesn't really make sense is, so the arrival of this planet causes... Obviously, there's some gravitational pull, blah, blah, which affects Zeus 4. But also, the fact that it's really near Earth means that it starts to absorb Earth's energy. In fact, it starts to absorb Zeus 4's energy first.
Right.
This is not something that the Cybermen are doing. It just does it, right?
Right.
Because, I mean, the outcome obviously wouldn't have been intended by the Cybermen. So this is a natural phenomenon. Why?
Okay, I'm going to have to suspend that talk, because if we're going to actually apply the laws of natural physics to Doctor Who, we're going to have a fucking awful time.
Okay,
so I think you just have to randomly suggest that
Fine.
planets sometimes absorb each other's energy.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean, that might actually be a thing that happens. I'm not a physicist.
I don't know. I've never encountered a twin planet.
It doesn't sound like something that would happen.
I don't think so.
But physicists, get at us. Let me know. At Nicolele. It sounds fucking stupid, but what do I know? Like,
sure.
Yeah. And plus, we're going to have an awful time if we're trying to dissect.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so, Mondes has appeared, upside down Earth.
Yep.
The Doctor has done his party trick of, hey, I've written it down and not going to actually help you, but hey, I'm clever.
Yeah, but that's not really the turning point in the soldier's relationship with the Doctor.
No.
That happens immediately after they've arrived.
Well, it does.
I mean, if we rewind a little bit, General Cutler, who's the guy in charge of the whole place, he goes, you guys are clearly trespassing, I don't trust you, you are prisoners. Soldier, take them to the adjacent room. Soldier takes them to the adjacent room and immediately starts shit-talking General Cutler.
Yeah, but you do that about your boss, don't you?
With your prisoners?
Everyone does it. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, he's a prick, and yeah, don't worry, I don't even like him either. I'm just here until, like, I can get my screenplay sorted. That's all that is. I'm happy with that. That's an idea.
Okay, fine. Well, regardless, we are now introduced to the Swiss-French dude, Wigner.
Mr. Wigner. Monsieur Wigner.
Not the most Swiss or French name, to be honest.
No, but he seems to speak French.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, he does speak French at one point.
There's him, and so there's this, Sepp Latterer and Kunta Kinte for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't get this. So they have, I guess it's
in Geneva, so it's like clearly tons of different cultures meet.
So the idea is that we can represent the fact that you must have so many cultures because you have an African man in traditional African dress.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't just go Swiss, like African dress, would you? You'd go Swiss, then English, then French. So the way that they've done that is that if you represent both sides of the spectrum, you're representing the entire spectrum. Meaning that Swiss are the neutral, like, alpha.
They're basically English.
Yeah. And then, what's the craziest country that, places we could think of? Oh, yeah, let's put African country. Let's put, like, Kenya or somewhere in there. Because they'd never be involved unless all the countries are involved.
Very true. Isn't there, there's a third person as well, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
I can't remember.
Whatever, it's fucking racist is basically what I'm pointing out.
Yeah, no, it's massively racist. That's fine, though. It's part of the times.
That's fine, though.
As in... That's clearly to be expected, I feel.
Put that out, iTunes.
Oh, thanks, guys.
So yeah, we're at the International Space Command.
Yes, which I feel like the word international is Kit Pedler's version of Terry Nation's space.
I think it's more a parallel for Thunderbird International Rescue. And basically, like a whole trope that's going on through the 60s of everything being an international man of mystery and international...
That's possible, but we also later on get, like, international television news.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, it's every single...
everything is television... Sorry, everything is international in this thing.
Yeah, no, but I think that that's probably not just this, but everything. Like, everything written with a sci-fi or just general fantasy.
Yeah, but we don't get that in other episodes of Doctor Who.
Well,
That's in this
maybe
one.
not. Maybe it's just maybe it's a thing of the dying thing in the 60s, but globalization being a thing, and then people popping in with like everything being in, like I said, international.
Sure.
International.
Yeah. No. I can buy that. What I'm thinking is the equivalent expression in Terry Nation stories is space. So you would have you wouldn't have international television news. You would have space television news or space base. You know, you have the space security whatever
is much
service.
better with space in front of it as a prefix.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
But yeah.
We get to meet him, and then I think we're about to tie up episode 1.
Yeah, absolutely. The soldiers at the space base in Antarctica try to go in and get into the TARDIS, right?
Yeah. They try to break in.
They try to break in a hurried fashion.
That's not going to happen.
No, because the TARDIS is not like that.
Oh, it's unbreakable.
Doesn't give a fuck how cold it is. So they're struggling along with the locks and whatever, and then stage left.
Cybermen arrive.
Bum, bum, bum.
Walking very slowly.
In actually quite ignominious fashion.
Beat the shit out of one of them. All of them, in fact.
We're not it's not like, oh, something has appeared, or just like left. Or did we get the scene with the spacecraft landing into the candy floss?
Maybe that does happen. Yeah, you're right.
It's some footage that gets used like 4 times within this serial.
Yeah,
but it
looks super nice though.
We get to see the cyber ship land.
Very similar to the miniature work in Dalek's Master Plan, and presumably even more so, Mission to the Unknown, which unfortunately is missing.
I'm sure all of you have actually seen it and know exactly what we're talking about. But if you haven't, and you just like the rich timbre of our voice,
you should check out the screenshots on whobackwhen.com.
Yeah, absolutely. But basically, let me paint a word picture for you.
Oh my god, I'm leaning back.
It's a tabletop full of candy floss.
I'm also unbuttoning my trousers.
With an Oreo sandwiched between 2 hobnobs or OT biscuits floating down on a wire and landing softly in a pillowy candy floss like cocoon, right?
That's incredibly accurate.
Yeah, also... So that's what happens, and then the Cybermen turn up. They tried to shoot at the Cybermen to no avail.
Do they? I don't even know if they're weapons.
They do with what looks like Lugers, like what?
Oh, really?
Like proper World War II one-shot pistol jobbies. The Cyberman gives him a karate chop.
Yeah, and then in order to surreptitiously be able to karate chop the other humans around, they actually put on cloaks. Like they try to disguise themselves.
So yeah, they put on all the coats and things, and then
and that's the end of episode 1.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right?
That is episode 1, yeah.
Let me address the coat situation.
Oh, I've got such a huge problem with the codes. No, do it first.
Okay, well, I just want to say that, I don't really care who you are, what species you are. Everyone deserves to feel pretty. Do you mean? He saw a coat he likes.
And at this point, we're at the start of episode 2.
Yeah.
That's where I take a huge issue to these codes.
Right.
They appear on the command deck, basically. The command room, whatever. Where the general is.
The situation room.
Situation room, nice one. Wearing these coats, right? The situation room does not open directly to the, hostile outdoors of the Antarctic.
It's poorly designed.
No, it definitely does not. They have to go down some sort of tunnel, they walk through corridors, probably go through some other rooms, right? And then they get to the place. That means that they managed to evade detection by wearing these shitty cloaks for I don't know how many minutes. Probably quite a good chunk of time, man.
It's international space center. It's not international observe things.
There are fucking people all over the place, man. They're walking around in clothes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a Cyberman? Imagine a massive Cyberman wearing just a cloak poorly thrown over its head. It clearly has a different shaped cranium, right?
Okay. Let me do some more. So I work in a cool place, but an open plan office, like a lot of us do.
Okay. Oh, la-di-da.
I could not fucking know if there was a Cyberman in there Monday to Friday. I could not guess.
Okay, listen, this is a military base. This is not an open plan office.
Yeah, but to be fair, actually, so one thing, there is a mitigating circumstance in which one of the comments made by the friendly soldier, who turns friendly almost immediately, is to say that there aren't many people. In fact, General Cutler only employs a very small amount of people and runs them into the ground. So actually, conceivably, maybe
So you think it's completely empty, basically?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Maybe the Cybermen walked through completely unopposed. Lawyered! Yeah.
No, I'm not lawyered. Okay, check this out. This is a military base. I'm pretty sure it's not just a question of like you open door and you walk in. What about locks and shit?
What are you gonna lock it for?
What do you mean? What are you gonna lock it for?
It's not fucking Antarctic.
Bloody the Dr. Benny and Polly.
You don't anticipate them. You don't know that they'll ever exist.
Wow, that's how military forces work. Well, we're not anticipating anything. Yes, you are anticipating shit. That's why you have military. That's the whole purpose of an army. Anticipation.
Yeah, but the architect wasn't to know, was he?
Anyway, we do actually we get that cutscene now of international television news.
Yeah. Bum bum bum.
Bum bum bum.
Bleep, 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 bleep,
Which
bleep.
I feel like you made an incredibly good point while we were watching this the other day.
Oh, good. I can't remember what it is.
What? Okay, so we'll do a tiny reenactment. You'll remember this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
International television news, their set looks so un-news.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So they've got international news as a placard in the front of the desk. International news at the sort of top right hand.
On a poster just stuck to the wall.
And just looks really fucking, I mean, even for the 60s, stupid. Like, stupid amateurs. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, aren't you, as when you're filming Doctor Who and you're Kit Pedler and like there's writers and stuff, aren't you sat in essentially the world's premiere news outlet?
Yeah.
Like, people that have like just done correspondence for the war and like, you know, like, it's...
You know what it should look like at the very least.
The BBC World Service is coming out of the same fucking building.
Yeah.
Don't talk to them, just like...
We'll use their sets.
Yeah, I'll
never do that.
Guys, do you mind if we just like nip in for 5 minutes? Yeah, fine. We're too busy drinking scotch and harassing women. Like, they won't know.
I wonder when that happened, because now in New Who, whenever you have any kind of news correspondent, it is always the BBC.
Well, the reason is that now we have like the concept of fucking brand equity and people understanding that actually you can tie.
I wonder when that happened, though. I wonder if that happened in
It's brand new Who, I think. I've got to be. I mean,
so not later on
we'll get through it and we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that in the 80s, they might have had a vague concept of it, but in the 2000 plus, it's kind of when, well, like with the advent of social media and stuff, that people understand that even though the news outlet was the serious thing, and Doctor Who being a silly thing for children,
we still associate it with the same brand.
Well, if one can siphon one into the other, is that actually it does well for both.
Sure.
It does good things for both. It means that kids that watch Doctor Who will be acclimatized to the news later on.
Yeah.
And the parents that are watching Doctor Who can have a little fun and say...
Absolutely. It's not too alienating to our generation.
It's a brand, so you stay within the same brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, people didn't know that earlier on. I don't think. We'll see. But I don't think it doesn't. It happens until Tenet.
Okay.
The best.
Or Eccleston rather.
Or Eccleston, yeah.
Okay, well, regardless, I think that's an interesting point to watch out for later on in Classic Who. So, whatever, blah, 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 international television news. The Cybermen have now arrived. They, instead of saying hello, they straight up murder a dude.
Straight up.
With, like, this massive light gun thingy.
Cold-blooded.
Oh, nice one. Fairly cold-blooded, yes. Is it like a laser? Whatever, it's like a heat beam or something.
I don't understand, because it's like, it's basic...
I love it.
It's like a floodlight.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that we finally get
a chest cannon.
Yeah, like we get a sci-fi weapon that isn't just a ray gun. Because most sci-fi weapons...
it is a ray gun, though.
Sure. But I mean, like, it isn't shaped like that. It doesn't have the standard handle. It doesn't have a barrel. Every other weapon in sci-fi, like 9 out of 10 weapons, looks like a gun. It's just like it fires a ray, right? In this case, it's this... It's a floodlight.
Like a double-handed floodlight. Yeah. It's okay, I'll get you. That's cool. That's cool. So they straight up murder a gun. They're like,
and then they go, hello.
They're like, can you do the voice? Do the voice.
Oh, I don't know if I can do. Hello. No. Yeah. Hello.
Oh man, you sound like you want to sell me sweets.
But with like a weird timbrato kind of thing. Yeah. And always, so freaky. They open the mouth. It's clearly all ADR'd.
Yeah.
They open the mouth, you hear someone speaking, then they close the mouth.
Alright, so let's take a beat and just discuss how fucking creepy the Cybermen are.
Okay, what do they look like?
Headless Cybermen. They look like a set of very, committed gimps that have a fetish specifically for Dyson products. Like, I think that's my most accurate
I can get on board with this.
In which they've just like strapped a fucking microwave to their chest but have got these. So the way they talk is not by by the way that we sort of make sounds with our voices using the shape and forcing sound and air out. They seem to just open their mouths.
And presumably there's a speaker or something in there.
To let the sound out.
It's mega creepy.
It's so creepy.
And they're all basically wearing like these onesie spandex suits, right?
Morph suits almost.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They look a little bit... Do you watch Community?
The human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. They look like
the human being.
The college mascot.
Yeah.
So it's mega... No, it's just crazy creepy. It's so much creepier than New Who was.
Oh, so much creepier.
That basically just looked like RoboCop.
Well, because actually, absolutely, maybe if I was a child when New Who came out, that might have freaked me out. But I don't think on that level where it's like, oh, so you're a big metally thing that I've never really seen or whatever. So like the idea of me being scared of you is intrinsic because, like something new is scary.
Yeah.
But the Cybermen are men. Like, you can see the outlines of their muscles and mouths and things, and they're fucking terrifying.
But is that in somehow indicative of the times as well? Or maybe, like, the fear of certain scientific progress of the time?
Yeah.
That, okay, so we're letting science interfere too much with nature. And that is basically the backstory of the Cybermen. We're in fact treated to the backstory of the Cybermen twice. So Earth used to have this, whatever, blah, blah. Let's combine the two backstories. Earth used to have a twin planet, aka Mondas, which for some reason disappeared. But then, now it's reappearing. Doesn't matter. On Mondas, they were just basically humans. They were exactly like us, right? But they explain when they're in the control room, their lifespans grew shorter, and in order to make up for this, they started replacing bits of their bodies with, like, metal gear. Yeah, I feel like that's taking the fear of the time ad infinitum.
It's probably a bioethics social commentary.
Definitely. But in a way that is completely separate.
Kit Pedler was like the scientific consultant up until this point.
He was, wasn't he?
Actually, yeah.
Hang on, what did he consult on? War Machines.
War Machines. So he's probably into it as an idea.
Probably.
And absolutely. I think that's a very pertinent point. And that's the thing. And that's what essentially the point of the Cybermen is the entire time. Until it kind of gets to Smith, where they become a different thing.
I think it happens much sooner.
Borg-like at that point.
Sure, but I'm not super familiar with Cybermen in later Classic Who, but I mean, there are Classic Who Cybermen that are basically just spacesuit robots.
Yeah.
Whereas here, they are actually designed to look like someone has fucked with human bodies.
Oh, it's so scary. It's the scariest iteration.
It's like the body horror aspect
I remember this sort of some of the later, as in later Classic Who Cybermen, because they're the most like, they're sort of just lots of bits of Hoover, essentially.
Yeah.
But this is freaky next level shit. Like, this is... Oh, the mouth really fucks with my brain.
And the weird, like, metal lipstick thing that... they look like blow-up dolls.
They do. They're like the blow-up dolls that will come back in...
Oh my god, dude. Let's pitch a horror movie here.
Let's not.
The blow-up doll from hell. Her name's Barbara.
Obviously already exists.
I'm YouTubing that.
I'm sure of it. Anyway,
whatever.
So they are, just to pay homage to Kit Pedler, as much as I kind of want to take more the mick out of it, he's definitely haunted my dreams.
Yeah, incredibly well done.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
Yeah. Alright, so Benny now decides, you know what, I'm gonna try to kill these dweebs. So he goes and grabs the rifle dropped by the first soldier to be killed by Cybermen. Yeah. Doesn't fire a shot. The Cybermen basically just point at him and go, come with us.
And he says, stop.
Stop. Come with us. Bends totally Hulk Hogan's the rifle.
Hulk Hogan.
Totally.
I love that as a verb. To Hulk Hogan. You, me, he, she, Hulk Hogan's.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan's the rifle, and then puts him in a makeshift cell, namely the projection room, at which point the one thing that JD pointed out, I don't know if it was on the record or off the record, but JD pointed this out to me anyway, Ben is basically the exposition man.
Oh my god, yeah, Benjamin Exposition.
Yeah.
And he is phenomenally bad at it. I mean, he's to the sense where he's he's acting like a crazy person. Like, there's no possible way.
What kind of room is this? Oh no, they put me in a projection room.
Okay, who would you ask that to? And why are you so perturbed by the idea that there's a why was that? God, I was really hoping for the toilet, because I really need to go.
Or the security kitchen.
Yeah. Shit, I need a sandwich, a really secure sandwich. He's basically talking to all the various things in the room and saying stuff about them.
And comes up with a fantastic plan.
There's always a fantastic plan that obviously he needs to immediately voice and not just say in his inner monologue, which is to blind the Cyberman.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
His projector, which, if anyone's ever stepped in front of a projector, it's not blinding. It's a bit dazzling, sure, but like you don't drop to the floor.
But this Cyber is completely just
fucked. Like, and he drops his like. Sorry, I was saying the F word, but
oh, do it.
But
F away.
He dropped so the Cyberman comes back into the room, is blinded because of eye level, like...
Well, I'm pretty sure that Benny explains quite clearly why this happened.
Okay, of course.
Shall we soundbite that?
Let's
soundbite that. Soundbite.
Hey, wait a minute. If I was to turn this on the door, it might blind him. Yeah.
That clarifies everything.
Thanks, Ben. Anyway, so yeah, the Cyberman drops his weapon, Ben picks it up, and actually gets backed into a corner.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill straight away.
No, and he feels so bad about this. He feels guilty for taking the Cyberman's life.
Yeah.
I think his last word to the Cyberman, well, the Cyberman's corpse is like, you didn't give me a choice to do anything else. Like, I had to save myself.
Which, as a little, put another pin in this, and as a parallel to New Who, way better than David Tennant. I'm sorry.
I'm so
sorry.
I agree with you.
Fuck up.
Totally freaking agree with you.
Anyway, so he kills the Cyberman, then he runs off to, he's not sure what, but to in some way liberate his friends.
Sure. There's a bit in between as well, or before that we missed out, and that is, we get a call from, is it Wigner? No, hang on. How does this work? At some point, Wigner, Mr. Geneva.
We call him Wigfield.
Wigfield. Okay, yeah, that you know what? That clarifies. That makes it so much easier. Okay, so Wigfield, he gives Cutler a bell and says, listen, since the first rocket exploded, which, by the way, we also failed to mention.
Oh, yeah. Right, quick rewind. Whilst the Cybers were doing shit, and they were like, oh, you can feel free to contact the rocket if you like, but it's pointless.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all fucked up.
It blows up.
It was blown up.
Yeah.
Like, but we don't get treated to any special effects. We're just like, off camera, it blew up. Whatever.
Yeah. Wigner at some point gives him, you know what? I think it's the other way around. Okay, sorry. Here's what I think happens. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Benny escapes, steals the ray gun thingy, the massive flashlight, gives it to someone, some other soldier. That soldier, possibly that's Cutler, in fact, ray guns everyone, like all the Cybermen, in the control room. So there are now no living Cybermen in the space base. Yes. And then Wigner calls in, and now it's like completely official. Now it's like, listen, Wigfield, Wigner, whatever your name is.
That's exactly it.
There are Cybermen, they're totally invading the Earth. And Wigfield goes, you're totally right, Zeus 4 blew up. Good thing we had a backup, Zeus 5. We've thrust that into space to do what again? Like, why did you have to send another rocket up there? Was there some urgent mission that Zeus 4 was on? Never mind, Wigfield, we don't have time to discuss it. Anyway, who's piloting Zeus 5? It's okay, it's your son. That's it.
I'm so much happier that we've named him Wigfield. Now, again, you'll probably be okay with that as a European, if you're aware.
I'm just thinking of the singer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
The pop starlet Wigfield who had the one song Saturday Night.
Yeah.
But if you're not, and you're American...
Great video, by the way.
Oh, please look up Wigfield Saturday Night. And you're welcome.
And take the rest of this episode very seriously.
So yes, you're right. So they've sent off, coincidentally, Cutler's son.
Yeah. Well, he volunteered for it.
Yes.
Because Wigfield goes, listen, we needed someone brave. So we asked for volunteers, and we got one. He's your son. Here's what I want to know. Why the fuck did they send another spaceship up there?
It's true. Also, give your dad a jingle.
Yeah. Hey, Dad.
I did this.
I'm going to go on this crazy dangerous mission. Yeah. It's pretty much a suicide mission. Just wanted to say hi.
Megalols, XXXOX.
OX and a smiley face.
Absolutely. Now,
or emoji.
Emoji. I don't know what an emoji is. We say it like that's a thing.
Emoji. Emoji's like a yellow smiley. Is that not it? It's basically Pac-Man.
Oh, it's so old. Anyway.
Our bones are so brittle.
Oh, I'm wasting away. Anyway, yeah, so there's this other extraneous rocket off to do God's work, presumably. Yeah. But then they also hatch the plan of the Z-bomb, right?
I think that's the next episode. That's the next episode.
Okay, sorry.
So, sorry. They take back the base, blah, 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 blah. Second rocket's up there. And we end the episode on...
the fleet of ships, of cyber ships, heading towards our coordinates.
Kablamo.
Yeah.
Tons and tons, like thousands. It does
say like hundreds, but there's like quite clearly 14 blips.
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but in Oreos and Odie biscuits, that's like hundreds.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That is like 4 packets of Odie biscuits.
And that's the cliffhanger of episode 2.
Yeah.
Episode 3
Bum.
starts off with the Doctor collapsing.
Yes, which is, nice foreshadowing, I guess.
I suppose so, but also, I mean, it's pretty sad because Hartnell was originally meant to be part of episode 3, but he was written out of it because he was actually feeling that poorly, so he couldn't be on set.
Shit, did they make him properly collapse? They're just like, get out there.
No, that's not even Hartnell.
Oh, okay.
That's Hartnell's body double. I think that's Hartnell's body double, whom we also saw in one episode of Dalek Invasion of Earth, and who also plays the botanist in Keys of Marinus. Yeah. But he was the official, body double of William Hartnell. Okay. And, in fact, in Dalek Invasion of Earth, the exact same thing happens. At one point, he was very poorly, and they basically just take him out for one episode, and the episode starts with Hartnell collapsing, except we never see him face, from the front. We see him from his back. We just see someone with long white hair collapsing. And then it's like, all right, well, I guess we're not going to see the Doctor for this episode. Exactly the same thing happens here. And it's really sad. I mean, you're right. It is foreshadowing, but it was unintentionally done so. And all of Hartnell's original lines were then spread across the rest of the main cast. So Polly has some of them, Ben has some of them.
It's sad because, he looks great. He does.
He does, actually, yeah. Oh, no, it's very sad.
So, at this point, we come to the introduction of the Z-bomb.
Yes, we do. Oh, I'm sorry, this is so dumb.
I mean, so just to explain what a Z-bomb is, a Z-bomb
I'm pretty sure it's clear to everyone.
Yeah, there we go. It's an incendiary device.
Everyone's heard of a Z-bomb, I think.
Full of zebras.
The zebras or zombies?
Half and half. It's like a mixture of zebras and zombies. Zombie zebras.
Zombie zebras. The worst kind of zombies.
The worst kind of zebras. Absolutely. Anyhow, no, we have absolutely no fucking idea what a Z-bomb is.
It is described as a doomsday device. And there are, I think he says 3 of them, spread across the world, and one of them happens to be in this space base in Antarctic. Which, by the way, I think you already agreed is completely okay not to even lock the doors for. So, absolutely. That's fine. No, that's okay. I mean, we're just going to have our doomsday device here, not going to close the door or anything.
Who's going to come?
There's basically no one in this base anyway. No. Seems like a reasonable place to store a doomsday device. Anyway, so Cutler goes, listen, this is, I'm going to use a technical term, this is complete bullshit. My son is up there on some weirdo crazy suicide mission that we don't even know about. There's a new planet, by the way, the 10th planet we didn't even mention. Pluto's still a planet, so this is now the 10th planet as opposed to the 9th
planet.
Some weird 9th planet has arrived in close proximity to that moon we all know, Pluto. And my son's up there, he's going to die unless we blow up that 9th planet. So let's activate the Z-bomb or the Z-bomb. Wigfield goes, listen, mon Dieu, that is completely out of the question, alright? Listen, monsieur, you cannot do that. If you detonate it, it will kill all of us on Earth. So do not do that, but...
It will kill the half that's facing them.
Okay, fine. It will cause an incredible amount, an incredible loss of life, right? Across half the Earth.
I'm pretty sure he starts that whole statement with Sacre bleu, monsieur.
Sacre bleu. Wait, sorry, you didn't hear me because I was munching on this baguette. Sorry, wait, hang on. We're in Switzerland. I was munching on this piece of Gruyere when you called. Here's the thing, okay, listen. You cannot do this. This is so racist. I apologize to everyone. Really? This was my Swiss French. Okay, fine, I apologize. Alright, fine. So here's what Wakefield says. He says, you cannot do that. I expressly order you not to detonate the Z-bomb. But Because I'm a reasonable guy.
No. What he says is not to to detonate the C-bomb. It's like, I'm going to do whatever I need to. It's like, okay, do that.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, do that. That sounds like a better plan.
In brackets, including detonate the Z-bomb if you feel like that's necessary. And he's like, all right, fine, I'm going to hang up now before you realize what you've done. He hangs up. Cutler immediately goes, right, we're detonating the Z-bomb, guys.
God damn.
Oh, it really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get his priorities as well. His list of priorities.
Go on.
So Cutler goes, here's the reason we gotta detonate this bomb, dudes.
I love his priorities.
Because here are the top 3 worst things that are going on right now.
So numero uno.
Number 1.
Is his son is up on the spaceship going towards this, like, planet of doom.
Yeah.
Right? Which you get.
Or possibly,
sucks.
no, he's just in space.
Alright, whatever, but he's in danger.
Yeah.
And he's not unhappy about that, because that's his son, and I understand that. Visceral reaction, that's his son.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the second most important thing that's happening right now?
What's this? Is the second one?
Second most important thing, as far as I recall, is Cybermen arrived in Antarctica.
Oh yes, okay, so imminent invasion.
Imminent invasion,
also
yes.
Tricky. I mean, your son, imminent invasion. Okay, let's give it to him on emotional grounds.
Sure. And number 3, this planet Mondas, the 9th/10th planet of the universe, or the galaxy, the solar system, sorry, is... sorry, apologies. I apologize to the estate of Terry Nation for making fun of him for making the same mistake before. So anyway, this 9th/10th planet of the solar system is sapping all the energy from Earth, thus killing everyone on Earth.
Yes.
Not quite as important as the invasion, which in turn is not quite as important as his son dying, but still pretty important.
So, as if this was like a traffic light,
Yeah.
you've got red, amber, green. So, like,
Yeah.
the last one, if that doesn't get done, that's alright. Like, as long as we got the first 2 done.
Yeah.
As long as his son lives, and the Cybermen are fucked, it's fine.
It's okay. So...
It's basically backwards. He's fucked up the problems that he has.
Yeah.
He's got 3 problems, and, well, he's got 2 problems, and his son ain't one.
So here's what would happen if he actually gets his way, alright? And his son, coincidentally or like weirdly, survives this crazy detonation. The Earth would be doomed, and his son, as the last human being alive, would now be starving to death in a space pod, circling a dead planet, whilst everyone he knows and loves is charred to shit on the ground.
Which I'm pretty sure is the next serial, isn't it?
Okay, whatever. Alright, so that's the worst case scenario, I suppose. At which point, we need another soundbite. Because Polly has a plan to distract everyone.
Oh, yes, she does. The most, like, feminist plan.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Soundbite.
Can I stay and help?
What do you think you could do?
Well, I could make some coffee or something.
Oh, all right, I suppose we could do with some.
Thanks, Polly. Just to say, you're better and more capable than that. Sort of.
Yeah. By the way, the only woman in this entire episode.
Yes.
Actually volunteers to make the men fresh coffee. Like, that's the whole plan.
And, so, whilst Polly's doing some distracting,
Yeah.
Ben's off to disarm the Z-bomb.
Yeah. There's like this whole weird subplot where he's in the room with the doctor and he tries to open a grate to like a ventilation shaft thingy. And he can't open it, and then whatever.
So the grate itself leads to the silo or some shit.
I thought so at first as well. I remember saying when we were watching this, like, why is there a ventilation shaft from something incredibly radioactive straight into where people sleep?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's actually the case. I think it leads to some sort of weird lab.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, so okay, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. He's now in the ducts. Barclay, the guy who looks like, you pointed this out.
He does look an awful lot like Sigmund Freud.
I think Sigmund Freud has a cameo here.
Yeah.
Siggy, he, like, draws these rudimentary blueprints, go over there.
Which are mostly penises.
Yeah, it's like lots of dicks and tits.
So one thing leads to another. Ben goes and disarms the bomb. And is successful. He disarms the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cutler follows him.
And is enraged.
Oh my god. Crazy enraged.
Yeah. And he's upset that Ben has essentially put his son in harm's way as far as he's aware, and then bids to kill him, right? Like,
well, basically, he totally Steven Seagal's Ben. He jumps in there, pops into the lab, grabs Ben by the collar or something, like literally throws him over a railing.
and that's not Hulk Hoganing, that's Steven Seagal.
That's Steven Seagaling. I believe that's popped up on the podcast before.
Okay, fair.
The ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, very, very familiar with Steven Seagal. darling.
Fair. So he's been Steven Seagal'd over... And as far as we're aware, he's been murdered.
Well, I mean, presumably he hasn't, because he's like the main companion.
Well, no, when I saw it, I thought... That was, I mean, you get thrown off a fucking...
Well, henceforth, he's going to be in a wheelchair, I'm pretty sure.
That's what it felt like, anyway.
Yeah.
So it's pretty heavy shit.
Yeah.
So at that point, Cutler is enraged. And,
but regardless, still goes, well, we're still going to try to launch this rocket.
Well...
Someone has clearly sabotaged it.
Yes, yeah.
We're not going to check if it's working. We're still going to press the go button.
That's true, that happens.
That's so dumb.
Yes.
That's so dumb. It could go off on the ground.
He does not really check, does he?
No, no one checks. God damn it. All right, whatever. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
So, amidst this, he's a little bit oblivious to the fact that there are a bunch of Cybermen arriving, and that the Doctor has surmised that Mondas itself, in a bid to be drawing energy from the Earth, is actually going to burn up and destroy itself anyway.
Yeah, we're now in episode 4, by the way.
Yeah, if you wait it out, nothing's gonna it'll sort itself out. Is essentially what the Doctor's saying.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So this is episode 4, which, by the way, starts off with the countdown, which actually episode 3 ends on with as well. The countdown from 11, I think it was.
Right.
Overlaid on top of...
It was fucking 11. Yes, that really annoyed me.
Yeah, I remember
11. 10. Fuck 11. Anyway.
But I've got 2 points to make here. Number 1, this is the first time in Doctor Who since the serial Galaxy 4 that we have some kind of timer or some kind of dial or whatever that is overlaid on top of video footage. The last time was in Galaxy 4 where it was an oxygen meter.
Right.
Number 2... Every single soldier in this room reacts in the exact same way during the countdown. It's, oh my god, it's really hot, wiping sweat off brow, loosening tie.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one.
Tough crowd. That's what they're doing.
But it turns out the rocket has actually malfunctioned. The sabotage was successful.
Yeah.
So it's not gone off, but it's also just, it's not taken off.
Yeah. So General Cutler is completely ignoring the idea that they're about to be beset by Cybermen.
Yeah.
And the Doctor's, idea that Mondas will take care of itself is also a bit full of...
Yeah, exactly. The Doctor's back, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the Doctor's back. Should have probably pointed that out. With this in mind, Cutler threatens to kill the Doctor.
Yeah.
Again, enraged and engrieved and whatever. The Cybers burst in.
And they...
murder Cutler.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Got rid of that guy.
And the first thing the Doctor says is like, thanks, you've saved my life. That guy meant to kill me. It's like, these guys mean to kill you. Have you forgotten that?
Cybermen are not good guys.
Yeah. It's not that like, hey, you've rescued me. It's like, hey, you've rescued me from someone who wants to kill me. What do you guys want to do? Should we go get some ice cream? Like, no, they also want to kill you. Anyway, that happens, and then the Doctor tries to effect a truce to say that, your home is obviously about to burn up.Maybe you can make a new life with us here on Earth.
Yeah, and you can totally trust us because we just prevented your planet from being blown up by the Z-bomb.
And the Cybermen, because they're way more shrewd than the people that have built a lockless base in Antarctica.
Wait, do you suddenly have a problem with this? I remember you saying, no, that's completely reasonable because it's
generally fine.
No, it's not.
There's more confidence in the idea that the Cybermen are like...
General Lee fine.
The Cybermen are saying, no, we don't really want to negotiate with the people that have a doomsday device pointing at our planet.
Yeah, reasonable, by the way. Yeah. In fact, that's sort of the plan that's about to be... that's the suggestion, the truce that the Cybermen in turn offer the Doctor and the humans.
So you take down the Z-bomb, and we'll take Polly as a make-weight.
Yeah, okay, sure, yes. They do, they kidnap Polly in order to convince them to do this work.
Yeah.
But they also go like, blow up all of yourselves, or we'll kill some of you.
It doesn't.
That's pretty much the offer that they've given here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, they take Polly away, and Ben and a few others are ordered by the Cybermen.
Why the fuck Ben?
Exactly what I was going to say. Ben and some actual, honest-to-God scientists are ordered by the Cybermen to go and deactivate the Z-bomb.
So the scientists are tinkering away, trying to deactivate it, and Ben's just sort of like...
Hi, I'm a sailor.
I'm a sailor.
I don't know bombs.
Yeah. Hoist the jib and shit. It's just absolutely irrelevant naval thing. However, whilst he's got all this free time, because he has no actual fucking job, he does make a very, very astute observation.
Yes.
Which is
that while they're operating, or while they're working on this bomb, they're all wearing like this, I guess, hazmat suits, basically. And the Cyberman in charge of guarding them is outside of the lab. He's not in there with them. So clearly there's something in this lab that is affecting the Cyberman, or that they feel is maybe, well, I guess, hazardous.
He basically surmises that these Cybermen are way more advanced, way stronger, way whatever. They could do that themselves. Why aren't they?
Yeah. Ipso facto, they must react very poorly to radiation.
These conditions and so,
Yeah, so they devise a plan. There are certain bits of radioactive material in this lab that they can use as, I guess, sort of weapons against the Cyberman. And they do. They open the door, the Cyberman starts to wibble and wobble a little bit, and then they actually escape.
Unlike projector being shined in their eyes.
Yeah.
So the two things that they don't like are either radiation, possibly EMPs, and the third thing being projectors.
In fact, that must have been his first, like, his go-to solution. Like, wait, hang on, I've got a plan. Guys, do we have a projector?
No.
Plan B, is there anything radioactive in the room? We're in a rocket base? Great.
Okay, so they disable that Cyberman, take his weapon, then bid to rescue the rest, right?
Yeah, I guess they retake the base once again. Is it at this point that they, like, basically gather all of the Cyberman weapons and bunk up upstairs, like, in the snow, and wait for Cybermen to arrive and then, like, blast them to shit?
Earlier, actually. I think that's on the first wave of the lot of the Cybermen.
Oh, so maybe we missed that then.
Cutler's deal. I think Cutler does that.
Oh, you're probably right, actually. Okay.
But I think
regardless,
at this point, we're off to rescue Polly and now the Doctor, who's also been taken captive.
Sure.
Ben basically goes and liberates them both.
Yeah.
Having essentially to rewind, at some stage we're treated to the demise of Mondas. Mondas melts on screen.
Yes, you're right. Which is, it's fantastic. I mean, effect-wise, I'm assuming it was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched... Okay, here's the thing. So this is a 4-episode arc. Part 4 is completely missing. That is to say, you can either watch a recon, which in fact we did not watch this time around, or you can watch an animation very much in line with the final episode.
And
I think it was
amazing.
Yeah, or the penultimate episode of Reign of Terror, which is also an official animated version. Yeah, it looks great, right?
Really
it looks so good.
Yeah.
Based on what we saw in that animation, the explosion, the detonation of Mondas, it's of Star Warsian proportions.
Yeah, it's badass.
It just breaks apart and flows into space in a humongous explosion.
Yeah. So yeah, Mondas has been, as the Doctor predicted, it's sort of essentially destroyed itself.
Yeah.
Zeus 5 returns.
Yeah.
Or returns on screen at the very least. And
no one seems to care that a planet just blew up next to the Earth, by the way. It's like, guys, pretty sure there should be like a shockwave or some radiation. The planet just blew up next to you.
But so Zeus 5's back, and Cutler Jr. is okay.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fine.
In a turn up for the books. And he
has no idea that he's lost his dad.
Yeah. So he's going to try to re-enter this atmosphere and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, Ben returns to this, or tries to get into the cyber ship to free Polly.
And the Doctor,
who's
something
unconscious?
The Doctor's basically unconscious. Yeah, somehow, I guess we've sped through this last bit, ladies and gentlemen. The Doctor at some point was also taken to the spaceship. And when Ben arrives, the lights have turned off. So when he turns them back on again, Polly is totally fine. Like, she's just locked into this weird bondage chair. And then next to her, also locked into like an adjacent bondage chair, is the Doctor, who is completely knocked out cold. And I think Polly even says, since the lights went out, I haven't heard a word from him. So he's pretty much out. He wakes up when Ben turns up, though. And he seems so weak.
Disoriented.
Yeah, he's like, what was that you said, my boy? It's really sad. I mean, this Doctor, okay, I don't know how Troughton regenerates. I don't know how Pertwee regenerates. I can't remember. Oh, actually, no, I do remember the Pertwee to Baker, but I don't know how Troughton regenerates. This one, compared to New Who regenerations, it's more like an actual death, to be honest, than anything else.
Yeah, it's quite harrowing. And, like, actually, from the point that he wakes up, that Ben wakes him up and frees him, to the point that he actually, you know, sort of shuffles on, is quite punctuated by a lot of relatively awkward and pregnant pauses that they're not line fuck-ups, they're hanging in the air of finality.
Yeah, and you have these looks between Ben and Polly as well.
Yeah.
They're just exchanging a glance that is basically, oh my god, this poor old man.
Yeah.
No, it's incredibly sad.
So he says, I need to go to the TARDIS and, you know, some other bits. So he does manage to shuffle himself to the TARDIS?
I guess so, because when Ben and Polly arrive at the TARDIS, he's basically locked inside
of it.
He's
locked in, and they're like, you can't leave us here, knock on the door, blah, blah, blah. They managed to get an entry to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
He was standing at the console.
He was working on the actual TARDIS, and then cut to, he's now lying on the ground.
Yeah.
And then we have this, and this footage is actually intact, and you can totally YouTube this or check it out on Dailymotion or something.
Do YouTube it.
Yeah, do it.
It's pretty fantastic.
I mean, it's an actual historical moment of Doctor Who or of BBC.
Of all sci-fi, really.
Yeah, definitely. The actual regeneration from Hartnell to Troughton, that is intact. Watch that. And that's how the episode ends as well.
It's fucking seamless. Like, as a weird bit of, like, sci-fi, of special effects that you don't think that a 60s era sci-fi thing would get right.
It's better than later classic Who regenerations.
I think so.
Again, I have actually not seen the Troughton to Pertwee one, but it's definitely better than Pertwee to Baker.
It's better than a lot of New Who. Generations. It's just very good, to be honest. And we're left with definitely a different face. I'm not going to say so different that we're like...
No, that's true.
It's kind of because it's grainy and black.
And also it's like a super close-up of the face.
It's super close-up, so you don't get to see like the full majesty of an entirely different body.
True.
But we're definitely confronted with a different face. And just the world's biggest cliffhanger.
Yeah. Pretty much. Holy crap, did this just happen?
I think so.
End of the 10th planet.
End of Hartnell.
Oh my god.
End of the first Doctor. Wow, we made it, guys.
Yeah, we did.
Whew.
I'm genuinely emotional right now.
Reviews.
I think I'll jump in because I don't know whether I'm going to try to decouple my emotion of the last Hartnell of Hartnell's death and the actual storyline. The storyline itself is strong. It's a really strong storyline, other than all the stuff I like to take the mick out of.
Yeah.
The Cybermen, Mondas, I think that there's probably more that Kit Pedler and the like wanted to do with that, but actually they're very small episodes and it's quite a complicated story. Like, I think if he had like a feature-length movie or something like that, he'd be able to fit in more exposition about Mondas, about like the Cybermen, about what they want to do or stuff. But there's just stuff they probably filmed like, you know, double amount of what we saw. Stuff hit the cutting floor.
Actually, I say probably, maybe.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt there, because actually the potential in the story, and certainly bits of subtext where we don't know why Mondes started up, we don't know and in many ways, as a audience member, I could fill in those gaps for myself, and that fantasy is cool. I don't always need the exposition as hard. I really liked the Cybermen were scary as fuck. Ben had a good sort of protagonist role in all of this, actually. Probably more than anyone else, you might even be able to say.
Agreed.
Polly, aside from the making coffee, was pretty cool. And the Doctor, I think probably for the first time in a long time, Hartnell, you know, did it where it counted. You know, aside from some comedy accents and you know, and some sort of silly plot holes, I think it's strong. That said, I need to leave some stuff in the tank, so I'm going to say 2.9.
Oh, wow. I'm giving this a higher mark than that. Okay, there are a few things that I want to address here. Number one, introduction of the Cybermen is at once both meh and incredible. I mean, the way that they suddenly just appear out of nowhere, don coats to infiltrate an unlocked military base is ridiculous. But they are by far the scariest adversaries that the Doctor has encountered. To this point, anyway. Up to now, holy shit, are they scary. They blow the Daleks out of the water, in fact. Just the body horror element of it. Someone who has fucked with human bodies to the degree that they are now these weird spandex microwave carrying.
Absolutely. If I can come in on your review.
Go for it.
Now. That's what's missing from... I mean, I'll do this in the bonus episode.
I think we do a bonus Cybermen episode.
It's so fucked up, isn't it, as an idea? Anyway, sorry, I'm moving on.
Yeah. No, it's tougher than if you consider the New Who thing with like, oh, there's a brain inside a robot, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. This thing is a human being with pipes. Like, it's gross. And they're really well done, even though obviously it's sort of budgety and very 60s. Doesn't matter. It's incredibly effective.
It's scary.
Yeah. So, bonus points for the introduction of Cybermen, and in fact, just the invention of Cybermen. Well done, Kit. Number 2, the companions. Ben, as you said, incredible agency. He's like the MacGyver of this episode. Polly, while she doesn't really do anything physically, besides, offer up the distraction of coffee, she's the woman with the plan. She has tons of input into their miniature rebellion. And for that, I think she's actually improved since the last one. She's better in this than she was in Smugglers. She's better than she was in... is she better than War Machines? Maybe not. She's definitely better than in Smugglers anyway. Production values, fantastic. The human adversaries... I like it. Cutler is sort of... He has the megalomania of... what was the guy called in Dalek?
Fuck that guy, the American dude, yeah.
Whatever. He feels a little bit like that. So he has that strange megalomania. He has... You're looking it up.
I am.
Alright, regardless. I like that element. The plot itself makes very little sense, but it's a 4-episode arc. Up to this point, you wouldn't really expect anything incredibly detailed or granular in terms of this is the evil plot, blah, blah, blah. So plot holes aside, I think it's a great story. We've got a twin planet, incredibly interesting. We've got energy is being reduced on Earth and in rockets, very sci-fi. I love it. Very, very cool. And we've got the crazy military dude who's actually personally invested in the whole plot. Fantastic. I wouldn't go so far as to say well written, but it's very interesting. Last but not least, the Doctor. William Hartnell, even though he's away for a quarter of this serial, he delivers a stellar performance. He's going out with a bang, and in a way, in this singular episode, we get to see every facet of his persona. He goes bumbling, he goes alpha, and he goes missing, which is very Hartnell-y, but also he goes sort of human in a way towards the end, close to his demise. It's incredibly emotional, and for that reason, I could hop on forever. But no, it's definitely worth watching. I'm gonna give this a... not even worth going through the plot holes, or even the fact that they said your 3 minutes is up 3 times in this serial.
And our 3 minutes is nearly up anyway.
Their 3 minutes is up. We must hear their decision. Your 3 minutes is up. What is your decision?
I'm giving this a 3.8.
Huge. Okay, that's massive.
Yeah.
That's cool. Van Staten,
that's what it was.
Listener minis.
We have 2 mini reviews. The first one comes from Gallifrey and Buccaneer. Alan.
What up, Alan?
How you doing, dude?
Your ability to always send in a mini review is just, well, freaking gallant, to be fair. We're fully appreciative. Thank you very much.
I would expect nothing less from a Buccaneer.
Absolutely. Going in with Alan's review. So to save time, as we all know, this is a monumentally important episode for so many reasons, or different reasons. I'm only going to talk about the Cybermen and the concept of regeneration.
He goes on, the Cybermen here are, in my opinion, the greatest enemy Doctor Who has ever produced. Just as the Weeping Angels in Blink surpass their later characterization, so too do the Cybermen in the 10th Planet. These Cybermen, and let's break that down, Cybermen, cybernetic men, not monsters that stalk the night, nor hate-filled creatures in travelling machines or lonely assassins. Men, humans.
They are a dark mirror to humanity, coming from Earth's lost twin planet Mondas. They're what happens if we decide to remove our emotions, but that isn't the worst thing. The worst thing is that it's obvious we clearly chose to do it. We wanted to be stronger, faster, more resilient, so we grafted metal to ourselves, spliced and cut our way to perfection. And what are we left with? Balaclavaed faces. Balaclavaed. Oh, balaclavaed. I like backlaved. Sorry, reading that too fast. Balaclavaed faces that hide with identifiable features, mouths that don't respond properly to our synthesized speech, and an ironic sing-song voice that repulses our human brothers and sisters. God, that is bleak, Alan. That's
and also
beautiful.
Very, very
horrible.
true.
Yeah. How you respond to this is at first is probably to laugh. Look how clunky the Cybermen used to be. Aren't those voices silly? Well, honestly, not really. Listen long enough and it becomes chilling. Imagine this human-like thing standing in front of you, cold eyes, emotionless voice, and the smell of disinfectant or for whatever skin is left under the cloth face mask. It's revolting precisely because it's so unhuman. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and incredibly accurate.
I kind of pop in there actually because that's absolutely tracks the sort of trajectory of my feeling to that. Initially, I made all the jokes in the world whilst we were watching it.
Yeah, well, we saw still images of this and totally agreed with that.
As it went on, I just become more chilled and I become more freaked out by the concept of because actually, the more processed, the more sort of more mature versions of the Cybermen left are so far removed from what I recognise as a human. It's less than it's more like an alien presence. Whereas actually the fucking freakiest thing about the Cybermen is, like you said, they're humans. They are human. And it's fucked up.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Totally agree with you. Alan goes on. The Cybermen aren't robots, they're people. You really get the sense of it in this story. These Cybermen had a life, jobs they used to love. What could possibly have made them want to become this revolting thing? Ambition, strength, perfection, human virtues. They are brilliant. They are so much more nuanced, creepy and insidious than they will later become. The closest we get is in Tomb of the Cybermen. If anyone ever asks, what's the Blink of the Cybermen, the episode that really shows how great a villain they can be, this is it.
So, okay, we're moving on to the concept of regeneration. Regeneration, what a novel and brilliant idea to recast your leading man. Where 007 is recast with barely a mention of past adventures, except on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Never happened to the other guy.
No. The Doctor regenerates. Through death, he lives again. And here he dies an old man, on the run from his own race, his granddaughter left to live her own life, fighting emotionless parallels of a race he's come to know well, and among companions he's only just met. His energy is drained by an entire planet, and he's surrounded by death and destruction. But from this, we know that it's far from being all over. Out of death comes new life. We don't know why or how, but it happens. This cantankerous, brave, lovable, insulting, heroic figure ends his life, and we get something entirely new. Patrick Troughton.
Indeed.
I don't know why I went all poetic for this. An entire paragraph was really poetic.
And then it's
Troughton.
All of a sudden you inhaled lots of helium.
Damn you, Alan. I had that was such a beautiful paragraph, and then you left me with the emotional payoff of Patrick Troughton, the least poetic sounding name of all time.
Well, that's not Alan's fault.
That is not Alan's fault.
And Alan is not done yet. He has a rating to deliver.
Oh, of course
he concludes the 10th Planet as a story gets a 4.5 from me.
Oh.
But as part of Doctor Who mythology, it's invaluably important.
Okay, there's so much about this.
Wait. I want to address the but.
But?
It gets a 4.5, but it's invaluable.
So there's more to give?
Yeah, what? 4.5, dude, you're 0.5 away from perfection.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fantastic mini, though.
See, so I think I'm gonna address some things. Let's speak to Alan.
All right, do it. Hey, Alan, I hope you're listening.
Hey, Alan.
How you doing,
Your
man?
insides are amazing. For the most part.
Your insides?
Insights.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to convert him to my own brand of Cyberman. No, your insights are amazing. Pretty much across the board.
I totally agree.
Nailed it. Certainly in terms of the most terrifying aspects of the Cybermen being that they are us. And you know, that's why dystopia is so compelling.
It makes that nightmarish scientific prospect of the Cybermen so much more accessible. The fact that you can actually tell that they are more like us.
But that idea of the logical extension of the most pervasive parts of our society is why all our villains, certainly in sci-fi, are compelling. Is because essentially, there by the grace of God go I, is the the sort of intention that, look, this is actually a parallel where someone went left instead of right. That kind of Turner thing.
Yeah.
And then they end up, and that's the scariest thing of all. It's not actually the
fact that it's a twin planet it absolutely accentuates that. This could clearly happen to us.
And Alan points out, regeneration is a beautiful, sort of thing that they've created, a technique, a stylish.
Yeah. And actually really clever on the part of BBC.
Clever.
He did bring something up that reminded me of something that we didn't address in our review. He says, hang on, let me read it out. Out of death comes new life. We don't know why or how, but it happens. And Hartnell actually addresses that himself. At least indirectly. He says, I need my TARDIS. Get me back to my TARDIS. Mm. It seems as though, at the very least, at the stage of the first Doctor, the idea may have been, alright, so regeneration is something that comes from the TARDIS, as opposed to from Time Lords, or Gallifreyans, rather.
Yeah.
Which is no longer the case. Now it's something that's genetically inherent.
I wonder if
or inherently genetic,
or just that's where he'd feel more comfortable regenerating.
I don't know, because we get to see him shortly before he regenerates. He's in the TARDIS pulling levers.
Yeah.
It's almost as though there's technology behind it as opposed to genetics.
I guess so. I mean, I'm happy to let that idea.
Yeah. No, this is not a point of criticism. This is just sort of a hypothesis. Mm. Regardless, Alan, thank you so much for sending this in. Super interesting.
Review though. The review 4.5 is fucking high, right? That's crazy.
It is high.
I mean, I feel like Alan.
I almost stretched into the 4s myself, to be honest.
Did you go 5 point? I think Alan went 5.0 for Girl in the Fireplace.
Very possible.
I feel like, I mean, just Whovian to Whovian, Alan. Are you leaving yourself enough room? Because we've got another 40 years of this left.
Yeah, sure. But is this not a great episode, dude?
It's a great episode.
It's a fantastic episode.
Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm too conservative in myself to try to leave stuff.
What did you give this? 2.8?
2.9.
2.9?
2.9? I think
one of the
2.9. Let's revise it to 2.9.
2.9. All right.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I think, biased though I am, I think this is better than 2.9.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, all right.
And if you're in no way following Alan Reese Trussler, what are you doing with yourselves?
I have no. Well, you're certainly not using Twitter properly.
Absolutely not. So you should follow Alan Trussler at Alan Trussler.
That's Trussler with 2 S's.
Yeah.
We have one more listener mini, and this second listener mini comes from Steven, SGamer82.
You should all follow him on Twitter, because SGamer82 is prolific. So
he is.
Make sure you get onto him.
He does a lot of work.
He really does. He's one of my favourites.
God damn it, Stephen, you're putting us all to shame.
Aren't you, though? So let me jump in with Stephen's review, since he addresses...
Please read it out exactly as it's written.
Okay. As promised, Pokin. Over Twitter.
Excuse me, as I promised Pokin.
As I promised Pokin over Twitter, I'm coming into the review of the 10th Planet and potentially unique perspective. I own and have read the novelisation on the serial via Kindle. The novelisation is largely faithful to the television episode, with difference usually being a case of different wording here or there. However, there are a few big differences that drew my attention, and they are listed as follows.
Bullet point number 1. The Doctor's increasing frailty is given much more prominence, as Ben and Polly's narration notes the Doctor seeming to age rapidly early on. Interesting. And makes it sound as if the Doctor is going up and down in terms of vitality. Weak one moment, back on his feet, as strong as ever the next.
The conversation at the start of episode 3 in the TV serial is held between General Cutler, Ben and Barclay, because William Hartnell was presumably too ill to film that week. In the novelisation, their conversation is largely identical, but held almost completely between Cutler and the Doctor.
Oh, interesting. Okay, next one. When the Doctor says his body is wearing a bit thin, he adds on that it's about time for a change.
Ooh. Then the next point, the regeneration scene itself plays out very differently in the book. Ben and Polly have entered the TARDIS and are changing out of their winter coats, and they hear a shout. Upon investigating, they find the Doctor in a sleeping pod, face covered by his cloak. They notice his hands have changed to look more like a younger man's. Then the Doctor appears. They're looking very different and introducing himself as the new Doctor.
Interesting. Right. Okay, so we actually get a proper appearance by Troughton, so to speak, in this novel. Very cool. All right, dude. Thank you very much for reading the novel on our behalf. Yeah. He goes on, the plot felt weak in a few points, mostly because I initially had a hard time trying to work out why the Cybermen were even interested in the Snowcap base to begin with. Things made more sense when I remembered their intent regarding the Z-bomb. I also had some issues with the resolution of Mondas destroys itself. On the other hand, winning by stalling for time was definitely a different type of battle. Very true.
Yep. The first iteration of Cybermen were interesting mostly of how different they were from their successors, even in the Charlton era. The odd little sing-song their voices have is unique to this batch. Personally, given that they were trying to convince people to return to Mondas with them, I like to think that they were trying to be sociable and completely botching it. Only creatures with no concept of feelings or emotions could. That's nice. Perhaps more compelling as an antagonist is Cutler, whose actions were driven by his desperate desire to save his son's life, one of the most basic of emotions.
Yeah, very true. I like that as well.
I really
Trying to be sociable.
the idea that they were singing to us as a way of getting us to Mondas.
We will blend in.
Yeah. Oh, sweet Caroline. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, carry on.
All right, Stephen goes on. The companions were quite active in the plot as well, in their own ways. Ben constantly trying to find ways to challenge the Cybermen and escaping captivity no less than 3 times. Polly, once again the only female in the cast, trying to reason with the Cybermen and later win over Barclay to their side.
My confusion is regarding the plot and the Deus Ex Machina nature of its resolution works against the serial, so I can't feel like it rates a 4 or higher, yet I also feel compelled to add to the score some due to this being William Hartnell's finale story, so my rating of this serial is 3.9 out of 5.
3.9, man.
That's
3.9.
3.9.
Dude, this guy's totally on the ball. Stephen, fantastic goddamn review as per always. Thank you so much for sending that in.
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Hits a lot of points that are sort of actually quite complementary to the ones that Alan made earlier and we've made throughout the podcast. But just, yeah, lots of holes, lots of weird things that I think that maybe it's just a more complicated story than anyone could make within these set of serials. Like,
yeah.
It's just very complicated.
Yeah, you're right. There's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Also, on just a total side note, Stephen, I may have told you this on Twitter, but I read your review immediately upon finishing watching The 10th Planet on a train, like a week ago or something. And when you said that thing about them being sociable, I kind of lost my shit. So thanks for that.
Very, very funny. I think I read that in Glasgow somewhere. It was very funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Stephen, you goddamn better do that right now, or I will find you and I will force you to follow him. He is at sgamer82. That's 82, the number.
Well, I think that brings us to a close.
It does indeed. Thank you so much for those minis. Ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, thank you so much for listening to us. We've been talking for a good long while. Yes, we have.
I know the outro already does this, but subscribe, like, comment.
Yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like there's something missing though.
Yeah.
You gotta follow Nick on Twitter.
Oh, you do?
This guy, he has taken Twitter to the next level. He eats, breathes, sleeps, dreams Twitter. This guy, he uses Twitter the way it was meant to be used. He is at Nicolele. That's like ukulele, but with Nick.
It's true. Actually, I mean, to speak to that point, Twitter's going really well. The rest of my life is basically falling apart.
That's okay. At least you have one success.
And in a similar reciprocal nature, and in no way obligatory, you should follow Ponkin.
Thank you very much.
At Ponkin. And this is a clip of JD singing Ponkin.
Ponken, Ponkin.
Thanks, JD.
Great. So, actually...
thank you for that very natural introduction, Nick.
Good, I'm glad. Now, the other thing that we should mention is that we're going to do a little bonus ep. Comparing the first reboot of Cybermen for Nuhu and these Cybermen, because it's all fresh in our mind. So feel free to click on that as well.
Yeah, and if you have any thoughts about Cybermen throughout the ages, please send them in. info@whobackwhen.com, or just use the form on whobackwhen.com for ease and comfort. Next up, in terms of podcast episodes, on the classic branch, we have a William Hartnell retrospective, very much like we did an Eccleston retrospective, after which we have Power of the Daleks. That's our next review, proper review. On the new branch, we have, and we're recording this tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen,
The Idiot's Lantern.
The Idiot's Lantern.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very good episode.
Yeah. Fantastic episode. On the audio branch, it's still We're and Dawn, still waiting for JD to get back, but he's en route, so fret not. And yes, I still do not like that audiobook, so enjoy that review. Thanks for listening.
And, ciao.
Yeah, be right next to each other. I can't say ciao now. Bye-bye. Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends. Don't have any friends? No problemo. Tell some strangers. Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Who Back When, all in one word. Are you on Google+? Then find us on Google+. That's plus Who Back When. And when you do, tell us why you're on Google+. Who Back When just got its very own Twitter account. No lie. So give us a follow. You guessed it. That's @WhoBackWhen, all in one word. Check us out on SoundCloud, vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can leave a comment, submit a review of your own, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode. And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. Not only would it make us super chuffed, and it really, really would, but as thanks, we will transmigrate your iTunes nom de plume into the credit list of trailers for fake Doctor Who audiobooks produced by Who Back When. Have a poke around our bonus episodes to make more sense of that. That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other. Catch your earballs in our next classic Who review, new Who review, or, still funny, audio Who review. Ciao.
Who Back When?